Let me just summarize my views about this entire topic for you once more, and then end with a couple of exhortations. So, my basic case in my book, How Jesus Became God, and that I presented last night, is as follows. I don't think that Jesus himself called himself God during his public ministry. I personally don't think Jesus imagined he was God. He wasn't God. He was God's prophet. He was the one God had sent to proclaim the coming kingdom of God that was soon to arrive within Jesus' own generation. Jesus was not calling himself God. Certainly, his disciples did not think he was God during his life. They couldn't even figure out how he could be the Messiah during his life. They were, in the Gospels at least, especially in Mark's Gospel, our first account, they were clueless. And yet, later they came to say that Jesus in some sense was divine. Why is that? Because they came to believe that Jesus had been raised from the dead. Their belief in the resurrection is what led to their understanding that Jesus was God. Without the resurrection, that would not have happened. If Jesus had died and simply disappeared, nobody would have thought he was God. The turning point was the belief in the resurrection, which came because some of the followers of Jesus saw him afterwards, or at least they believed they saw him afterwards. But they knew he wasn't still there with them. Well, if he came back from the dead, where is he? He's up in heaven. Well, what is it? What happens when a person's taken up to heaven? What do they become? They become a divine being. The earliest Christians thought Jesus became a divine being at the resurrection, and once they started thinking that, they started thinking more, and eventually they started thinking that Jesus was God, that Jesus had always been God, and eventually they came to say that Jesus was the God who was the creator of the world, and that he was one with God the Father. Those are later developments. They're not what Jesus thought and not what his disciples thought during his lifetime. I know a lot of people are reluctant to agree with that because it stands contrary to what they've always thought about Jesus himself during his life. And so let me end with my exhortations, which are, whether you agree with me or not, I really would encourage all of you at least to be willing to think and not to be afraid to change your views about something, even if it's something really important to you, that you should be willing to go wherever you believe the truth is taking you. Thank you very much.